Shabbat Shalom. For just a few more moments, I hope you are having a good Shabbos, good evening, Erev Tov. It is great to see all of you tonight gathering together as we say farewell to Shabbat for another week, as we make this transition from the holiness of today, of the holiness of Shabbos, to the everyday, the non-holy, the non-separate day of Shabbat with the rest of the week. And as we look into the next week, we look to next week's Parshat Noach, which is our Torah reading for next Shabbat. And in it, it tells the story of Noach, the individual who was known as an Ish Tzaddik B'dorotav, a righteous person in his generation, set aside to build his ark and take the animals two by two, a familiar story for many of us, going back all the way to many of our childhoods. However, this Torah portion also has in it one of my favorite Bible stories, one of my favorite stories from the Torah, which comes to us from near the end of Parshat Noach, and it's the story of the Tower of Babel. The Torah tells us that all of the people, everyone on earth, spoke the same language. And all of the people got together and decided to build a tower, to extol themselves, to grandify their community, the community of human beings, by building a tower that would reach into the heavens. And the midrash of this story says that as they went higher and higher and higher, getting closer and closer to the heavens, the people started bickering. One group thought that they should build it a certain way, and another group thought they should build it a different way. And the bickering got louder and louder as the tower got higher and higher, and finally reached up into heaven, reached up to God, who said, we must confound their language. We must change the way that they speak so that they can't continue on this path to try and make themselves greater than the divine, greater than myself. And so God changed their language and spread the people out over the earth, spread them out to the four corners of the earth, so that they would not be able to continue on what God saw as this foolhardy path of building the Tower of Babel. And there is a lesson to be learned here, a lesson about our intentions of trying to find God, and how do we make ourselves like the divine. And this story teaches us that there's a right way and a wrong way. The right way is to go back to the teaching from Genesis to say that we are all created b'tselem Elohim, all created in God's image, so that you have to go no further than your neighbor, to treat your neighbor with respect, to treat your neighbor with dignity, to be able to see God's presence in another human being. But the wrong way is to try and make yourself greater. To make yourself greater than the other, make yourself greater than that which is truly divine. And by treating each other as vessels of divinity, as treating each other as those who are part of that which is good and high and holy, we can truly, unlike our collective ancestors in Bavel, reach to the divine and find that source of divinity in the world. As we leave this Shabbat, we take with us that spark of divinity that Shabbat brings. We take it with us in the sweetness of the wine, in the fragrance of the spices, and in the light that comes from our candle of Havdalah, our candle of separation, the braided candle that brings the two candles of Friday night together into this larger frame, this frame that we catch with our fingertips as we say farewell to Shabbat another week. We begin now to say that farewell with Seder Havdalah. Hine el Yeshuati evtach v'lo evchad ki ohozi v'zimraya vayehi li Yeshua ohozi v'zimraya vayehi li Lishua. Hozi v'zimraya vayehili lishua. Hozi v'zimraya vayehili lishua. Ushavtem mayim v'sason mimei anea Yeshua. Adonai Yeshua l'chavir chatecha se'elah. Adonai tzavot imanu mishkav lanu Elohei Yaakov se'elah. Adonai tzavot ashrei adam boteach bach. Adonai Hoshia melech yanenu v'yom korenu laYehudim. Haita ora v'simcha v'sason Vika la Yehudim, Haita ora, V'simcha, V'sason, Vikar. Ken tie lanu, la Yehudim, Haita ora, V'simcha, V'sason, Vikar. Kos Yeshua Esav Shem Adonai Ekra, Yailai, Yalalai, Yailai, Yalalai, 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 Yalalai. Yalai, yalalai, yalai, yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei peri hagafen, Borei peri hagafen, Yalalai, Yalai, Yalalalai, Yalai, Yalalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ha-borei minei v'samim, borei minei v'samim, yalalai, 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 yalalai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei meorei haesh, Borei meorei haesh, yalalai, 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 yalalai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Yalai, yalalai, yalai, yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Amavil ben kodesh lechol, chatotenu hu yimchol, zarenu v'chasbenu, yarbe kachol, v'kochavim balayla, shavua tov, 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 a good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. a good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Agiladi, Bimera ve'amenu, Yavo Eleinu, Imashiach ben David, Imashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Agiladi. Shavua Tov, everyone. It was a pleasure being with you tonight as we said farewell to this Shabbat. A few very quick announcements before we conclude with one more song of Havdalah and one more blessing to go into the week with. Tomorrow we have a very, very filled day. Religious school is back in session tomorrow morning, as is Play Tamid, our parent-toddler class that meets at 9:30 on the patio for a socially distant morning of fun and games and singing and a craft. So I hope to see all of you with young families, kids who are not yet in pre-K, joining us on the patio tomorrow for Play Tamid. Then at 11 o'clock, we've got a really exciting adult education opportunity. Rabbi Dr. Edwin Harris will be joining us via Zoom from his home in Los Angeles. Rabbi Harris is a friend, a colleague, and a teacher of mine who is a rabbi and also a psychologist, and he will be teaching us on the topic of when the world is upside down, how do we get right side up again? Creating a spiritual practice for the world of COVID-19. Tomorrow's session, which is the first of a three-part series, is sure to be a phenomenally in-depth and enriching and thought-provoking conversation. I hope you will join me in learning with and from Rabbi Harris tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow night, many of us will be joining together on the patio at CDT for the first in our fall concert series with Mike, Amy, and the band. So I'm looking forward to seeing many of you tomorrow night. The good news is we're at capacity. Unfortunately, for those of you who are not yet on the RSVP list, we are at capacity for tomorrow night, but we will have another concert in November. So if you are not able to come tomorrow night, I hope to see you at our November concert, as well as any of the other upcoming services, events, programs that will be both in person and online over the coming weeks and months. It was great seeing you all tonight. We will conclude with one more song of separation and then a closing blessing. The twisted candle brightens our heart as together we watch the Sabbath depart. We smell the spices and we taste the wine as the stars in the sky begin to shine. Shavua Tov, may you have a good week. May you find the happiness you seek. Shavua Tov, may your week be fine. May it be as sweet as the Sabbath wine. We say goodbye to a special friend as another Shabbat has come to an end. Shavua Tov are the words we speak when we say, may you have happy week. Shavua Tov, may you have a good week. May you find the happiness you seek. Shavua Tov, may your week be fine. May it be as sweet as the Sabbath wine. Shavua Tov. And we ask for God's blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you safe. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May the light of God's smiling face shine upon you and be kind and loving to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God always bless you with the most precious of all gifts, the gifts of shalom, of health and happiness, of joy and peace. As together, wherever we are, we say Amen and Shavua Tov. Have a great week, everyone.